All media captivates you in some way. Books use words, movies use visuals, music has sound, and games have all of this. Plus one thing. Sorry, commercials. Control. In a book or a movie, the characters drive the story forward themselves. It just happens passively as you watch them do it, or read them do it. Games are special. They need input, your input. Games don't go anywhere if you, the player, don't drive it forward with actions. Sure, the actions are moving joysticks and pressing buttons, but the best a book's got is a wet lick of the finger as you turn a page. Long story short, this is what makes writing games unique. So yeah, good video guys, I'll see you in the next one. That's not it. Boy, is there more. Or girl, is there more? A whole lot more. I tried writing a game. Something felt wrong. The whole time, everything I was writing just felt amateur. I never understood why, until I started thinking about this video. It was too much of a story in the traditional sense. The player was just gliding through it. They wouldn't have felt any control over the story. It wouldn't have felt like they were driving the story forward themselves. I had the whole story finished already before I even thought of making it a game, and when I tried making it into a game, I didn't gamify anything. I stuck straight to the script. It was written like a book. And I don't know if you were listening before, but games aren't books. Don't write them like they are. You'll be missing out on a lot. I mean, RPGs, a whole genre, the most popular genre, is fully based off of this element of control. Especially open world RPGs where you create your character. Skyrim, Fallout, Baldur's Gate 3, Starfield, all of them. You make your own character that fits into this broad role. Dragonborn, lone survivor, guy with a worm, and disgruntled miner. Then your character gets to go crazy, doing whatever the hell you want. Blow up Megaton, kill Goodsprings, get arrested in Whiterun, feed the hungry wizard, go through 3 menus, then 2 loading screens to land in a procedurally generated, flat, nothingness planet that has less variation than launched No Man's Sky. Go right ahead, we don't care. Okay, enough shitting on Starfield. I actually didn't hate the game. Besides that, you have control of the whole game in an open world RPG like that. You can go wherever, whenever you want, and do whatever you want as whoever you want to be. That's the most obvious form of control you can get in a game. Fallout New Vegas. You can go straight to New Vegas and kill Benny. Good job, you completed your goal. You can blow up Megaton and laugh at the 2 children you just blew up. Yay, you're a bad person? Now, I am obliged to talk about a less obvious example of control, for the sake of understanding. Limbo. Game starts, no exposition dump, just pure input and atmosphere, which comes from the visuals and lack of sound design. The game introduces you to its simple mechanics in a very organic tutorial. You get on the boat and does that slow little zoom out to show you more, nothing, less sound to go with it. It's spooky. You start to get concerned when you see that bear trap on the ground, and then you see that rotting thing off of a stick. Then the classic rolling boulder trick. Someone is trying to stop something from getting to them. Then you see it. Spider. But then you defeat it rather easily. You feel nice, you feel strong, in control. And then you get stuck in its web, and it wraps you up, and just like that, you lost that control. You realize that you are the prey. You are the thing being hunted. You lose that sense of control that you felt in this strange world that you woke up in. However, at the same time, you're still driving the story forward. Learning about this mysterious world that you woke up in, it also helps that you're moving right the whole game until you're not with those goddamn parasites. And you lose control of the character, therefore the story. Limbo or Inside or any game of this vein, Little Nightmares, are simultaneously great examples of the fact that games do well with not a whole lot of words. In those cases, no words. People don't play games to read. If your game is overloaded with text, you're probably doing something wrong, unless you're Disco Elysium or Citizen Sleeper. Text-based RPGs. But a general rule for anything besides a book is less words is good. You can't erase words completely, but you can still tell a story with them. Just keep them to a limit. Out of Light does this so well. Throughout the game, it uses a lot of text or exposition dumps, but it either, 1, delivers them in a very artistic, fitting storybook type of way, like the opening cutscene. It also helps that this lady's voice is ASMR heaven.
It was the Great Friday before Easter 1895.
Or 2, all the text in this game is in a poetic format. 4 lines, A-B rhyme scheme. And I took 4 years of honors English in high school to forget what that's called. Quatrain, sonnet, something like that. But yes, every piece of writing in this game rhymes with one another and is poem. And there is a lot of dialogue between these characters. It also helps that the story is just amazing already. But yes, the game has a lot of text, but it does it in very original, new, artistic, poetic forms, which doesn't get old. So Child of Light is one of the most bookish style games you're going to get, while also being an amazing game. And we talked about the very minimal text that Limbo uses, which also really does the control aspect of storytelling really well, and the RPGs that go heavy into control. And speaking of RPGs, I mentioned the fact that they are the best examples of control you're gonna get. That's not the only thing that they're the best example for. Non-linear writing. In Fallout New Vegas, you wake up in Goodsprings, which introduces you to the Powder Gangers, a gang that's about to attack them. Whichever side you choose opens you up to the NCR, which then opens you up to every faction that game has to offer. Caesar's Legion, who's the NCR's complete opposites, devoted to totalitarianism. Totalitarianism. Devoted to totalitarianism. Holy shit, you understand what I mean. Believing democracy is weak and leads to destruction, corruption. Uses a very coincidentally corrupt NCR as their example. Everyone in this faction has gotten rid of individuality and serves the state. They're serving a higher purpose than themselves, or the Grey Khans, a ruthless raider group, a shadow of their former selves after the NCR slaughtered a whole town of innocent people, but still trying to live up to their past glory. And many, many more factions that the players open up to just because of the first quest the game throws at you. Everything is connected so thoroughly. Every faction, every quest, every character. The game offers you so many choices and routes to go on, with each of them having their moments, their histories you learn, their companions you get attached to, but they all lead to the same endpoint, the Battle of Hoover Dam, in which I will not spoil. Even if this game is a decade plus old now, it's amazing, and play it. You get presented so many routes throughout the whole game, branching storylines, but you always end up at Hoover Dam. It just depends on which side you're fighting for. That's the most basic way games will write their non-linear stories. It's referred to as the diamond technique. It's not complicated. Essentially, it's the illusion of choice. You have a set start and a set end. In the middle, you can do whatever the game gives you to work with. And pretty much every game written with choices follows this format. So, what separates the good from bad when they all use the same structure? A lot of problems come up when the locations are bubbled from each other. They don't tie into one another, and there's no cohesive theme or story that they all relate to. Fallout New Vegas tied everything together seamlessly, like the Goodsprings trail I mentioned. Lots of AAA RPGs now, including Bethesda. Actually, mainly Bethesda. The quests are just filler content. There's nothing connecting this lowly farmer and his bucket, what my character is doing, or will ever do in the game. Fetch quests, things of that nature, have no reason being in these games. They're just there to say that they have blank hours of content. And most of the time, you can credit a good quest to good writing. I'm going back to Fallout New Vegas already, because Boone, my dog, is one of the most notable quests in Fallout. Scratch that, in any game I've ever played. You stumble upon Novak, a small settlement with this weird, giant, dinosaur Godzilla thing. And in there, you can find Boone, former NCR sniper, who also asks you to help find out who sold his wife to the Legion. You go around asking the inhabitants of Novak, questioning them, and do a little investigating yourself. And after you're done your little investigation, you get to choose any of the inhabitants of Novak and walk them out in front of the dinosaur. And Boone will blow their goddamn head off. It is amazing. Now, if you provide evidence that you were right and you found out who did it, Boone will join your team after that. And you get him. Which, after some time, you get to do his companion quest, which brings you to where the NCR slaughtered all of those Grey Khans. Yeah, Boone was there.
Good shooting. And Khans started coming through Canyon 37 in bunches. It was all wrong, though. Women, kids, elderly. Wounded started coming through, too. We radioed to confirm our orders, but Command didn't get what we were seeing. They told us to shoot till we were out of ammo, so that's what we did.
You stay the night there, and wake up to Boone telling you that there's a raider party, Legion, which, by the way, he already tracked down and Mercy killed his wife before you even found him in that dinosaur. You complete the quest by killing all of those raiders and help him deal with the tragedy he took part in during his deployment at the NCR. All of this ties into 3 factions: the NCR, Boone was a part of, the Legion, who took his wife, and the Great Khans, who Boone killed countless of innocent people from. And 2 locations, Novak and Bitter Springs. All in that's one companion. Look at all these companions. He's just one man. Sitting atop his dinosaur Godzilla thing. Hey, speaking of movies, what about games that are movies or TV series? Ones like Uncharted, The Last of Us, The Witcher. Well, Uncharted is actually a prequel of the games. It shows how Nathan Drake and Sully met, so it wasn't based off the game and wasn't written like one. So, Patooey, The Last of Us. Come on, guys. That game was a movie to begin with. Half this goddamn game was cutscenes or gameplay of you exploring and walking around while these 2 characters are chatting around. The other half was sneaking around zombies and brutally murdering raiders. So I hate to say it, but I think this one might be a fair exception. And no hate to The Last of Us. Great fucking game. Just saying it wasn't really written like a traditional game. And The Witcher. This one was the hardest for me, because you have a lot of control of the character in that game. And you made choices that seriously impacted the story, like people dying, important ones. Until I found out that the series was based off of books, which also makes more sense because I had no goddamn clue what was going on in that show. A whole series of books, too, that actually predate the game, so yeah. Games are art. They're such a good medium for every form of it. Music, design, 2D, 3D art, UI, smart man programming that I don't understand, and writing is no exception to that. I hope this helps you understand that. Or if you did, I hope you learned something. Or maybe laughed a little bit. Maybe a heavy breath out your nose. Or whatever. There are so many games I can recommend here. Games that made me make this video. But the games I talked about are most of them. Child of Light, Limbo, Fallout New Vegas, Gris. But I won't list them here. Shit. I already did. God damn it.